Hello students, I am Sachin Prakash and I teach and mentor students in chemistry for IIT I believe that the real confidence which is required to crack this IIT exam will come only when you are confident in tackling good problems. And that clarity and understanding of concepts will only develop when you are really comfortable in handling these problems. So this video contains the paper discussion which I have conducted in my uh, classes online. Okay, and a lot of good doubts are there which I have discussed here. It will be helping you people in understanding, developing an understanding in how to approach and tackle good problems. Okay, and if you like this, if you found this paper discussion video to be useful and interesting, you can, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, which will surely, motivate me to add some more useful videos of this type. Okay, because ultimately it's this is just an effort, honest effort, small honest effort from my side to help the student, uh, help my students as well as other students also in their ITJ preparation. So let us begin with this paper discussion. Okay.
Good evening, students. So my name is Sachin Prakash, and today we will be discussing the paper discussion WTA UTA4. So this is a advanced paper which contains questions on chemical equilibrium, thermochemistry, and ionic equilibrium up to hydrolysis. Okay. So let us start the paper discussion now. Everyone is able to listen to me? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us start the paper discussion. Question number 19 and 20.
19.
19. Okay. Now you see, 19 is about a reaction between a strong acid and a strong base. Okay. Now you see, I am knowing that if 1 mole of strong base is reacting with 1 mole of a strong acid and it is forming water, delta H for this reaction is minus 57.5
1, 2.
kilojoule per mole. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. So if it is 57.5 kilojoules per mole for 1 mole of OH minus and 1 mole of H plus. Okay, so if I am taking millimoles, then the energy released will be less. So you see, what I am doing is that I am calculating how many millimoles of H plus and OH minus are actually completely reacting. So you see, I can write a reaction as OH minus plus H plus, giving H2O. Okay. In this case, so how many millimoles of NaOH we are taking? 0.2 into 100. Are you getting a point? So that will be how much? 20 millimoles of OH minus. And how many millimoles of H plus we are taking? 0.4 into 100. 40 millimoles of H plus. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you see, when these are reacting, which is the limiting reagent here? Which one will you consume completely?
OH minus.
OH minus. So this will be 0, this will be 20, and water we are not taking into account. Okay, where it is present in excess. So we are mainly interested in what is consumed. So you see 20 millimoles of OH minus consumed. So you see for 1000 millim, 1 mole of OH minus, I get minus 57.5 kilojoule per mole. So 1 mole is 1000 millimoles of OH minus. For that I am having minus 57.5 kilojoules of energy released. For 20 millimoles, you have to just divide it by 50. You have to divide this also by 50 into 1000 to get the value in joules. So answer will be 1150. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay. So after this, 20,
second one.
20th one you explain.
20. Which one? All.
20.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, my reaction is CO plus 2s2. Let me write it down. Okay. Something should be written. So question number 20. You see, question is CO plus 2s2. Giving CH3OH.
Sir, when scroll up,
How? First question.
19th question, sir. Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay. This is my reaction. Okay, and delta H is what? Delta H is positive because heat is released. Sorry, delta H is negative. Okay, it is an exothermic reaction in forward direction. So it will be gaseous, all are gases only. Okay. Now you see, it is saying that the reaction is exothermic. Okay, they have written it here, and they are also saying that a mixture of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and methanol is placed in the under reaction conditions, and the temperature is changed to 450. So you see, what I am doing is that I am increasing temperature. If I am increasing temperature, the reaction will shift in which direction? Towards endothermic reaction?
Backward.
Where the backward endothermic reaction is in backward direction. So if it is in backward direction, then what is happening? The number of moles is increasing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So option A is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Second, reaction rates of both forward and backward reaction remain constant. That is wrong. If temperature increases, then both Kf also increases or Kb also increases. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
The
if
equilibrium constant will, can increase or decrease depending on which direction is, forward direction is exothermic or endothermic. So in this case, forward direction is what? Exothermic. If you are increasing temperature, the value of K will decrease. Are you getting a point?
Sir, if temperature decreases.
If temperature decreases, it will go in forward direction. So your value of K will increase. See, K is product by reactant. Are you getting a point? With a shift, it is shifting the direction of product, the K will increase. Getting a point? Yes or no?
Sir, could you say all the possibilities like for exo and endo?
That is all which we discussed, no? See,
If temperature is increased and
if
decreased.
temperature increases, okay, you see, all the possibilities are like this. If your temperature increasing, okay, then the value of K will increase if the forward direction is endothermic. Are you getting a point? And
KB.
it will decrease if the forward direction is exothermic. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
I say remember these two cases. The other will be simple. Just reverse the sign. If temperature decreases, the value of K will decrease. If forward direction is endo, and it will increase if the forward direction is exo.
Sir, KF and KB, sir.
Kf and Kb will always increase.
Sir, even
If
when
temperature
temperature,
increases. Yeah?
temperature decreases, then there is decrease, no, sir.
Yeah. No, I'm talking when temperature is increasing, the value of rate constant will always increase. If temperature decreases, then the value of rate constants will always Kf and Kb will always decrease. The ratio might change. This we have discussed in the class. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is definitely wrong. Option C, average molecular mass of the mixture, gaseous mixture, decreases. But you see, from the given condition, the things are going in backward direction. So the number of moles is what? Increasing. And MW is inversely proportional to the number of moles in equilibrium. Yes or no? Vapor density calculations we have discussed, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Vapor density or molecular weight is inversely. So when equilibrium is increasing, these two will be decreasing. So average molecular mass of the gaseous mixture decreases. So answer will be A and C. Getting your point? Yes or no?
It again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after 20th, 21.
21.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in 21, option C they have given, but option C is not correct.
Sir, OH minus should be 0.1, no,
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, OH minus should be 0.1.
Yes,
That is
sir.
why it is incorrect. Okay. In the answer also they have taken it wrong. Okay. So let us discuss this question to get a clear view. So I think which option do you want me to discuss? All. Okay, I'm just going through all the things one by one. See, you're starting at 0.1 moles. So C into 1 minus alpha, C alpha and C alpha. OH minus will be what? Under root of Kb into C. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Initially, when you have not added OH minus to the solution. Okay. So initial part, no, before addition of OH minus from NaOH side, the OH minus will be decided by the dissociation of NH4H. So it will be Kb into C, it will be root 2 into 10 power minus 3. So POH is 2.85 and pH will be 11.15. Are you getting a point? This one?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, when you are adding OH minus, then this is effectively you are starting the equilibrium at starting set the initial conditions to C1 concentration of OH minus and C concentration of NH4OH, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the dissociation will take place under the common N effect, calculation. So the presence of OH minus will decrease the dissociation of NH4OH. So alpha will decrease. So you can write it as C into 1 minus alpha, C alpha and C1 plus C alpha. Now if we use the common N approximation, then C1 plus C into alpha will be equal to, is approximately equal to C1 because the value of alpha will be decreasing, right? If it is going backward direction, then alpha is decreasing. So C1 plus C into alpha can be approximated as C1, which is 0.1 molar. So what is the concentration of, what is the POH? It will be 1. And what will be pH? It will be 13. So what will be delta pH? It will be 13 minus, initially it was 11.15. So 1.85. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you see this part should be actually 0.1 molar. Okay. So either it is a printing mistake or something like that. Okay.
So option
Yes.
Will this go for key change?
Yeah, obviously you should go for key change. Not worry. Now after this 21, next is 22.
23.
23.
23, sir.
Okay. 22 is easy. Okay. 23. 1 minute.
so 22 also.
22 also. Okay. Let us discuss 22. Okay. So 22 is saying delta, they have given the definition delta H of delta HA, delta HC and delta HB. Okay, bond in it. So you see, delta heat for formation of hydrogen gas is equal to delta H atomization of H2. And see, what will be the atomization reaction for H2? H2 is a 2H. Okay. So, and if I write delta H for this, that will be delta H atomization. What will be this value? 2 into delta H formation of hydrogen minus delta H formation of H2. Right or no?
Yes, sir.
But delta H formation of H2 will be 0.
0.
Okay. So it will be 2 into delta H formation of hydrogen, not delta H formation of hydrogen. This is wrong. Now the delta H for this is also the bond energy of HH bond. Again, bond energy of HH bond will be equal to 2 into delta H formation of hydrogen. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
repeat once again.
See, in this reaction, what are we doing? We are breaking 1 mole of HH bonds. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the delta H for this reaction will also be equal to bond energy of HH.
Yes, sir.
So that is equal to 2 into delta H formation of hydrogen atoms. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So this is also incorrect. Now delta H bond energy hydrogen is equal to delta H atomization of H2. That is correct, which we can get. Are you getting a point? Where the same reaction also is the atomization reaction for H2 molecule. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And last is delta H combustion of H2 gaseous is equal to delta H formation of H2O. So you see, if I'm writing the formation reaction for H2, then H2 gaseous plus half O2 gaseous giving H2O liquid. So you see, delta H for this reaction will be heat of formation of H2O because all the elements are in their standard state and you are getting 1 mole of H2O. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this will be, so delta H for this reaction is heat of formation of H2O.
2.
Okay, these two will be 0. Heat of, it is basically what? Product minus reactants, and these two are 0. And this is also representing the combustion reaction for H2. This is also delta H combustion of H2.
Sir,
Are you getting a
kindly
point?
say option C as
Huh?
2 into delta H atom.
Yes, yes. See, it is, you are burning 1 mole of H2 completely in presence of air. Yes or no?
Sir, in option C, bond energy will be 2 into delta H atomization of.
No, no. I have told you delta H atomization is always with respect to the molecule. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
It is the energy required to convert 1 mole of a molecule into atoms. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 22 is clear? Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So this brings us to 23. Now 23, I will discuss a brief about this is what we call as phase diagram. Okay, and this is a diagram between pressure and temperature. Okay, so at different pressure and temperature, you will get different phases to be stable. Are you getting a point? Suppose I am saying at 1 atm and room temperature, which one is more stable? Rhombic sulfur. Getting my point?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? Similarly, at 1 atm and say 115 degrees centigrade, which is somewhere here, which is more stable form? Monoclinic sulfur.
So
Getting
how
it?
which is more stable?
Huh?
By seeing the graph, how can you say which is more stable?
So wherever the point is lying, in whichever zone this point is lying, that phase will be more stable. Because it is an
Sir.
equilibrium based diagram. It is drawn for equilibrium phases. Are you getting my point?
Sir, can you say which region belongs to rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur?
See, it is written here, no? All the zone from here to here to here, it is all rhombic sulfur. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Similarly, all the zone here, 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 all is gases.
From 95, temperature 95 to above, total it is.
Now, you see, 95 is a point where you see there's an equilibrium between how many phases? So, this phase is part of gas, rhombic, and monoclinic. Are you getting my point? It is like a triple point. Three phases are in equilibrium with each other. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Only that shaded region is monoclinic.
Huh?
Only that shaded region is monoclinic.
Yeah. Okay. Similarly, this part is liquid. No, the thing above this curve. Okay. And the below part is gas. Are you getting my point? So you see, if you are increasing the pressure, then gas will be liquefied to, gas will be converted to liquid sulfur. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, if you are decreasing temperature, then you are going in which direction? This direction. If you are suppose you are starting here and you are decreasing temperature, then you will reach a point where gas will be converted into liquid. If you decrease it further, you will get to monoclinic zone. If you decrease it further, you go to rhombic sulfur zone. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Everyone is getting this? Okay. Now you see, when they are asking about Gibbs free energy, you have to just see which form is stable. You see, if I am saying that a form X is more stable than form Y, then the Gibbs free energy of X will be minimum. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, any reaction, suppose I am assuming that X is getting converted into Y. If X is more stable, then the forward reaction should be non-spontaneous. It won't get converted into some other form.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This means delta G will be positive, and delta G is what? Gy minus Gx.
Yes, sir.
If Gy minus Gx is greater than 0, then Gy will be greater than Gx.
Yes, sir.
So if X is more stable, then any of the products will be, having more Gibbs free energy than the X. Getting my point?
How delta G is positive there?
See, X is more stable than Y. So if you're trying to convert X into Y, you're doing a non-spontaneous reaction. Spontaneous reaction always leads towards stability. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So if you're trying to convert X into Y, then delta G will be what? Non-spontaneous? Because you are getting a less stable product. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Spontaneous reaction leads towards stability. More stable product. Okay. Here stability will be decided by Gibbs free energy, not the total energy. Are you getting my point? So most stable product will have least gives free energy or less gives free energy. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now you have to just identify which one is more stable at a given pressure and temperature condition. So you see, if you have 1 atm pressure and 25 degrees centigrade, which line am I talking about? Okay, let me just clear the markings. It is clouding the diagram. Okay. So let us talk about 1 atm. So 1 atm is this line and 25 degrees centigrade, this line. This point, which form is more stable?
Round.
So it's all other forms will be having higher gives free energy than rhombic sulfur.
Yes, sir.
So this is wrong.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Option B at 10 to power 3 atm, which is this one, and 154 degrees centigrade, which is this one. Now you see, if you see this point, it is what we call as quadruple point. See, it is a point at which 4 phases are in equilibrium with each other.
Yes.
Just like triple point, it is a quadruple point. 4 phases are in equilibrium. What are those 4 phases?
Liquid, gas, monoclinic.
Okay. Actually, it is no, only 3 phases are in equilibrium. No,
Gas.
no, gas is to here. After this point, you know, the distinction between this will be the critical point. Okay. After that, liquid and gas will be same. So it will be triple point type of thing only. Are you getting a point? Not quadruple point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at this point, your liquid, monoclinic and rhombic, all these 3 are in equilibrium with each other. Can I say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
So
if
once
they are in equilibrium with each other, then all these 3 will be having the same G value. See, if X is in equilibrium with Y, then Gx will be equal to Gy.
Sir, once again, with water in equilibrium.
See, anything which is lying on the line joining 2 phases. Okay, this means that along this line, rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur are in equilibrium. Getting my point? Similarly, along this line, rhombic sulfur and liquid sulfur are in equilibrium. Are you getting a point? So at this point, rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur and liquid sulfur, all 3 will be in equilibrium? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Because all 3 are equally stable at this point. That is why it is existing on the phase diagram. Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So all 3 should be equal. So there should be an equality sign here if this has to be correct. Are you getting my point? But they're asking for the correct statement. So this is not a correct statement. Are you getting my point? So they have given it as an answer, but it is not correct. Getting your point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this should be going for key change. Okay. How many questions we have identified till now? This is also for key change.
2.
Okay.
The first one.
Option C. At 1 atm and 114 degrees. So 1 atm line is this much, and I'm going 114. It is somewhere here. At this point, rhombic and monoclinic are in equilibrium with each other because it is lying on the line joining these 2 curves, phases. Are you
Yes.
getting a point? So here it should be equal. Okay. But they're asking rhombic and liquid. So you see liquid phase is somewhat here. Okay, liquid is not here. Liquid will have what? More gives free energy than either of these two forms, rhombic and monoclinic. Yes, no.
So could you repeat?
See, at 1 atm and 114 degree centigrade temperature. Okay, rhombic and monoclinic are the more stable forms.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
At
sir.
this condition, G rhombic is in equilibrium with G monoclinic. But liquid phase is not in equilibrium with these two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so liquid phase will be having more gives free energy than these two.
Gives free energy than rhombic.
Okay, so this should be a reverse if it has to be. So this is wrong. Okay, this is not the correct option statement. Okay, option D, melting point of monoclinic sulfur increases on increasing pressure. Now you see, monoclinic sulfur line is this one. Okay, so you see melting point curve will be this one, which is in contact with the liquid phase. Are you getting my point? So if you are increasing pressure, means you are going up.
Yes, sir.
So melting point is what? Increasing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this statement is correct. So answer will be only option D. Getting your point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if this is clear, we can move forward. Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 23 is done. 24.
No doubt.
24 it looks easy. 24 we have discussed in the class this type of question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
You want me to discuss it again?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So I have given the solution, you can look into it. Okay. Exactly this question I have discussed in the class. Someone's doubt was this. Okay. So after 24, 25 is it out?
Explain.
Explain, sir.
Explain, sir.
Explain, sir.
Yeah. Just 1 minute. 25 is you are having a weak acid, which is 20% dissociated. Okay. And you are having 10 ml of weak acid and you are taking 10 ml of the solution. Okay. Now here, one thing is missing because of which,
Yes, sir.
you
They
know,
did not give ML.
yeah, the data is not there. Okay. So here it should be based on the solution which is given there. They have taken 10 ml of NaOH to utilize the entire HA. Are you getting your point? Yes or no? So
We
if
did not
we
get that
take this data, then we can do this question. Getting your point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I am taking 10 ml, then I can calculate what is the concentration of HA. Milligrams of NaOH will be equal to milligrams of HA. Okay. So 10 ml into C is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 3 into 10. This I am taking based on the solution which they have given. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. But we did not get 10 ml, sir.
So this question
Yes,
will go for
sir.
deletion. This will go for deletion. Don't worry. Okay. But other parts of the question you are understanding? If I give you 10 ml, can you do this question?
Yes, sir.
sir.
After that, you just calculate the value of HA, concentration C. Once you calculate C and alpha is given, concentration of H plus will be C alpha. So from this you can get pH, which will be 3.4. Are you getting a point?
Yes,
Yes or no?
sir.
Okay. Now you see, after this, you see what is the K? K will be C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. We cannot take the weak acid approximation because alpha is what? 20%. So I cannot neglect 1 minus alpha is equal to 1. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So K has to be obtained from the exact mathematical expression. So from this K will come out to be 10 power minus 4. Once you get K, you can calculate KH. KH for A minus will be Kw by K, it will be 10 power minus 10. And from that you can calculate the pH. pH will be what? 7 plus half pK plus log C, it will be 7.5. Getting the point? If you have added NaOH, you have completely converted HA to A minus, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the pH will be decided by the hydrolysis of A minus, which we have done it here. Okay. So we have used the anionic hydrolysis formula. Okay. So this is 25. After this, 26.
Explain, sir.
So,
Yeah, 26. See, 26 is actually easy question. Okay. Let us see. See, it is saying that 1 millimole of 1 molar HCl. Now you see, this you are doing dilution. Okay. Always remember one thing. During dilution, number of millimoles will remain constant. So no matter how much concentration will change, but millimoles will remain constant because you are not removing anything from the solution. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
yes, sir.
So if
Yes,
I am
sir.
saying that I am taking 1 ml of 1 molar HCl, 1 mole per liter is 1 molar. Then how many millimoles have I taken? 1 millimole? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, I have taken 1 millimole of HCl and then I diluted it to 100 ml. How many millimoles of HCl I am still having? 1 millimole only?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now out of this 100 ml solution, I took 10 ml of solution. Now the millimoles in 10 ml, how much it will be there?
0.1.
0.1. Okay, so this 0.1 millimoles of HCl is there in 10 ml solution. Now I again diluted to 100 ml, this 10 ml to 100 ml. So how many millimoles of HCl is there in this 100 ml? This still 0.1? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if it is you are having only 0.1 millimoles of HCl in 100 ml of solution, what is the concentration of HCl? It is 0.1 by 100.
10 power minus 3.
It is 10 minus 3. Okay. So this is the way you are doing things. Okay. Just
Sir.
Like
they gave, it was diluted by 100 ml, again diluted by 100 ml. Shouldn't we do it 2 times?
No, why you cannot do? Because here you took 10 ml of the solution.
Yes, sir.
So you change the number of millimoles, no?
Okay, sir.
You do dilution, you can do by 100 square only when the number of millimoles are same.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think everyone is getting, okay, this, you will be getting these questions up now easily. First time only people get, a bit confused in this question. Now, in question number 27, again there is a, see, when they are saying resonance energy is 37.8 kilocalorie per mole, this means delta H resonance is minus 37.8. Are you
Yes.
getting my point? Okay. So you see, based on the calculation, it should be plus 49.8, not minus 49.8. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So you see, we have, suppose we are saying that for cyclohexene, which is having only 1 pi bond, heat of hydrogenation is X. And for theoretical structure of benzene, okay, which is having 3 pi bonds, what will be the delta H hydrogenation? 3x?
Yes.
Yes,
For the
sir.
Lewis structure. Now, this is a theoretical value and the actual value is plus 49.8. Then we can write delta H resonance is what? Delta H theoretical minus delta H actual
Yes,
for heat
sir.
of hydrogenation. I have told you that for heat of hydrogenation and heat of combustion, then it will be theoretical minus actual.
Actual.
For heat of formation, it will be actual minus.
Theoretical.
Theoretical.
Okay, so you see here the value 49.8, it should be plus 49.8. It shouldn't be minus 49.8.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you are doing it like this and delta is resonance, you will be taking to be 37.8 minus 37.8 because resonance energy is always the energy released. If you take proper signs, then only you will be understanding and getting the question. Are you getting the point? Yes,
Yes,
or no?
sir.
So
Sir,
if
how
you are
did
doing,
we
yes,
theoretical how did we get the theoretical structure?
see, theoretical structure of benzene, this is the Lewis structure of benzene. Are you getting a point? This is something which does not exist. It's a hypothetical thing. Actual structure of benzene is what? The circle thing which you do,
Cyclobenzene.
something like this, which is, indicating that there is partial double bond order, like this. I have discussed this in, no, I have not discussed it, no. No, I have discussed this in the resonance energy part, no?
One of the questions.
Yeah. So it is like that. Everyone is getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 3x will come to be 12, s will come to be 4. So answer is correct, but the data is wrong. Are you getting a point? So this will also go for deletion, actually.
Yes, sir.
Because if you would have used the correct concept, you would be getting the answer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that is the thing. Now see, if people what they do is that they will simply see 49.8 and 37.8, they will just see that, if you subtract or add them out, you will get 12 and divided by 3, it will be 4. But that is not the way things are done. You have to write it as per the proper signs. Are you getting a point?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So after 27, it is 28. Okay. Now, in 28, what you are having is mixture of a strong acid and a weak acid. Okay. So SeOH is a weak acid. Now it is given 10 to the power minus 4 here. Okay. Getting a point? And
Yes,
you are
sir.
having 0.01 molar HCl. Now you see, how do we analyze this type of question? Whether to neglect the contribution of weak acid or not. First, you calculate the individual contribution. So if only formic acid was there, what would have been the H plus concentration? It would be under root of K into C.
Yes, sir.
This is C and this is K. It will be root 2 into 10 to the power minus 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you see, if only 0.01 molar HCl is there, then the concentration of H plus due to HCl will be how much?
10 power minus 2.
10 power minus 2. Okay. So you see, 10 to the power minus 2 and root 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay. You cannot neglect it like this. Okay. It is like, this will be like 0.14 into 10 to the power minus 2. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You cannot neglect 0.14 with respect to 1. You can neglect 0.05 with respect to 1, but not 0.14. Because it is like 14%. We follow the 5% approximation rule.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will do it the correct way. What we will do, first we assume that HCl is added. So you got H plus and Cl minus. So H plus will be 0.01 when you have added HCl. Now, if you add SeOH 0.01 molar, then in this equilibrium, initially you are having 0.01 molar SeOH and 0.01 molar H plus. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Now, at equilibrium, some dissociation of acid will take place. So you will be having 0.01 minus X, 0.01 plus X and X.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, You see, what will be K? K will be 0.01 plus X, concentration of H plus, into concentration of formic ion, SCO minus, by concentration of formic acid. Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
And that is 2 into 10 power minus 4. Okay. Now you see, when you simplify this expression, you will get 2 into 10 power minus 4x and 0.01x. So, you know, when you are combining, keeping everything towards the left hand side, you will get this type of expression. 0.01 plus 2 into 10 power minus 4. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now here you can neglect this with respect to 0.01. It is like 2% of this value. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So once you have done this, then you can use your way to solve quadratic equation. Okay, you will get x to be 10 power minus 4. Okay, getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Now they have given answer concentration of acetate SCO minus. So concentration of SCO minus, you can write it as A into 10 power minus B, and they are asking B. Okay, I am not using the words which are given here because I have already used X as the variable here. But if we are expressing it as A into 10 power minus B, the value of B will be how much? This will be like 4. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
So the answer will be 4. Okay. Now, if I see this is the question, I think. Yeah. You see, they have done the same thing. Okay. Which is very good. But the only thing which they have done it wrong is that they are starting with K is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 2. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
That is why they are getting the wrong answer. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So even they have not taken the approximation, but they have taken the wrong K value. That is why the answer is coming 3 for them. But the answer will be coming 10 power minus 4. Everyone is clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
over there it should be 0.01 into 0.02, no, sir.
Oh yeah, that is something. 1 minute. What is happening? Can't I write? No. 1 minute. It should be 0.02. Yeah.
But
It
it is
should be 2
clear
into
enough.
10 to. Huh? So yeah, it should be 2 into 10 power minus 4. So A value will be 2, but it won't affect our answer. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the thing. Okay. So 28 is done. So 28 is also something which is going for key change. Okay. 29, is it out?
No, sir.
It is easy. QV is equal to delta U, which is 1.125. 3.5 grams gives this. 28 will give this. Okay. Everyone is clear with 29? This is the
Yes,
length
sir.
of this question, or is more than the length of the solution actually. Okay. So after this, question number 30. Doubt? I
Sir,
think 30. Yeah, tell me.
like I got the answer like 1.6. I marked it as 1.
No, answer is 2 actually. It comes exactly to be 2.
Yes,
Let us
sir.
see how.
Exactly to me.
Let us see. You see, they have given degree of dissociation of HI to be 0.8. Okay. This means that at equilibrium, you are having H2, I2 and HI. Right.
Yes, sir.
Now they are saying that they are making this equilibrium by taking 2 moles of H2 and 2 moles of I2. This they are taking this as a reactant. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
And they are getting this mixture. Now I can assume that I can start with HI and I can still get the same equilibrium. And I
Yes,
want the equilibrium which is starting with HI, because alpha for HI is even. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Sir,
Yeah.
they said the degree of dissociation of HI is 0.8, but we
Yeah.
are considering it as H2 plus I2 gives 2 HI means it should be 1 by 0.8, no, sir.
No, it's not equilibrium constant. It is degree of dissociation.
Oh, okay.
Alpha
Sir.
cannot get inverse, no.
Okay, sorry, sir, sorry.
Yeah. So you see, the thing is that what we do is that we hypothetically finish this reaction and then we analyze the reverse reaction for getting the equilibrium. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So we do this hypothetical complete reaction. So 2 moles of H2 and 2 moles of I2 will give how many moles of HI? 2 moles of HI. If we assume that hypothetically this reaction is getting complete. Yes or no?
Sir, it should be 4, no?
4 more.
It should be 4. Okay. Then so, okay. So if it is 4, then I have to write here also 4. Okay, I have to write here also 4. I think then the answer will come as per what you are saying. Let me just check. 2 moles of H2 and 2 moles of I2 gives, yeah. So in this case, it will be 3.2 moles. So you see, 3.2 moles means, no, it will be 2 only, no? This is good. 1 minute. See, 2 moles of HI is giving 1 mole of H2. So here, how many moles are dissociating? 4 into 0.8, which is 3.2 moles of HI.
Yes, sir.
You can give 1.6 moles of H2 and 1.6 moles of O2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this you will be getting as 1.6 only. Okay. So equivalence of I2 will be equal to equivalence of hypo. Are you getting my point? So you have 1.6 into 2, because n factor of I2 is 2 and moles of I2 is 1.6. It will be equal to molarity, which is 1.6 molar for Na2 into n factor is 1 into volume is V. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The answer should be V will be equal to 2 liters. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay. So this concludes 30th question. Okay. Till this point, everyone is happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We need to be happy. Okay. Now this question, you see, they have given the reaction in the first column, delta H naught conditions for the second column, and these relations for the third column. Okay. Now you see, let me first talk about the third column. In these type of questions, what I do is that, see, there is no single way of solving this. What a lot of people do is that they will check each and every options individually. Are you getting my point? But that will be a huge amount of time. Okay, means like 4 into 3, 12, it will be like solving 12 questions.
Yes.
Okay, so what I do is that I figure all possible combinations. It is faster. Okay, now let me first, so you have to check that for the first option, which options of column 2 are correct, and then which option of column 3 are correct. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So this way you have to only judge 4 options. From that you will get all the possible correct combinations or incorrect combinations. So if you get all the correct, then you can find the incorrect combinations also. Are you getting a point? This is the strategy of doing these questions. 3 by 3.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
it? Now you see, let us first analyze the third column, because third column is a universal column. You see, they are saying that delta H naught reaction. So say my reaction is reactants going to product. Okay, and what is delta H naught reaction? It is sigma nu I. Nu I is the stoichiometric coefficient into delta H naught formation of product minus sigma delta H naught nu P into delta H naught formation of product nu R into delta H naught formation of reactant. Are you getting a point? That is correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is always correct. No matter what is given in column 1 or column 2, it is always correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Universally correct. Okay. Similarly, if I am talking about the second part. Now you see, if I am talking it in terms of bond energy, what will be the delta H naught R reaction? It will be bond energy of
Product.
Reactants minus.
bond energy of product. Now this is what is representing the bond dissociation energy of reactants. Okay, and this will be representing the bond energies of product, bond dissociation energy. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
This is also universally correct. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, you see, if I am saying that, say H2O is going, H2 is going to 2H, delta H is equal to delta H bond dissociation, then I can also write as minus of delta H bond formation, enthalpy of bond formation.
Yes, sir.
Are both formation and bond formation same?
Huh?
Are both formation and bond formation?
No. Here, bond formation means that a bond is formed by two combination of atoms. It is not the delta H. Formation is that the whole compound is formed by combination of elements in their native state. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Bond formation means that bond is getting formed by combination of atoms. Atoms are not in their native state.
Yes, sir. Need not
Okay.
be in native states.
Yeah. So you see, in this case, delta H bond dissociation will be minus of delta H bond formation.
Yes, sir.
So whatever, if delta H reaction is bond dissociation of reaction minus bond dissociation of product, then it will be minus of, it will be delta H not product minus reactant if you are writing in terms of bond formation.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So this is also universally correct. And it is applicable for all reactions. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and the last one. Now you see, last one is combustion. I have told you that if you are writing delta H naught reaction, then it will be heat of combustion of reactants minus heat of combustion of products.
Yes, sir.
This I have given in the notes also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is reactant minus product. But you see, this reaction is only valid for non-combustion reactions. Are you
Sir,
getting a point?
combustion.
Because, huh?
If it is combustion reaction.
Then you cannot use this. Suppose I am writing C plus O2 giving CO2. See, you can use this if you are using this reaction. Say C plus 2H2 giving CH4. For this, you can write delta H reaction is equal to, heat of combustion of CH of carbon plus 2 into heat of combustion of H2 minus heat of combustion of CH4. Why you can write like this? Because all three can get burned in presence of oxygen. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But in a combustion reaction, if you are using combustion reaction, only carbon can get burnt. Oxygen and CO2 cannot get burnt. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
See, this will be only valid for non-combustion reactions. But it is not, heat of combustion for oxygen won't be defined.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will be valid only for non-combustion reaction. So based on this, if we are writing the combinations, okay, now let us look at the first. So you
Sir,
see, S is only valid for non-combustion reactions.
sir,
Yeah.
heat of combustion will be defined for ozone, sir.
For ozone, you cannot burn ozone, no?
Can we say that it is not defined for ozone? Sir?
Yeah, you won't be defining heat of combustion for ozone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, see, technically, if you can write this reaction O3 plus 2O2 giving, O3 plus 1.5 O2. O3 plus half O2 giving 2O2. Okay. This you can technically define as the combustion reaction for O2 at best. See, combustion is what? Basically, it is reaction with oxygen to give some products.
Sir,
Okay.
now heat of combustion is defined for ozone.
This way, if you are saying that this is a combustion reaction, then yes, I think you can use it. Okay.
Sir, but practically ozone can be heated.
Huh?
Can practically ozone be burnt?
Now see, we are defining combustion reaction as reaction in which any substance is completely reacting with oxygen to give products. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Generally, we use heat of combustion values for hydrocarbon fuels only. Okay, but by going by the definition, you can say that this is representing heat of combustion of O3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, let us start with the first reaction. So you see, what I have deduced is the P, Q, R are always correct, but S will be valid only for non-combustion reaction. Okay. So you see, if you are seeing the values, then first one is the combustion, second is non-combustion, third is combustion, and fourth is also combustion. So it is only valid for second only. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us start with the first one. First one is a combustion reaction. And for this, delta H will be what? Exothermic? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So delta H will be negative.
Yes, sir.
Option 3 will be correct for first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about option 1? Now option 1 is saying heat of formation. If you see, this serves as the formation reaction for CO2 also.
Yes, sir.
So 1 is also correct.
Yes, sir.
And this serves as a combustion reaction for carbon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is also correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 1, 2, and 3 all are correct. Option 4 won't be correct because it is saying greater than 0. Okay. Now, next is half H2 plus half I2 giving HI.
Sir, column 2, column 3.
Yeah. So it is this reaction is an endothermic reaction. I have told you people in GIFs when we are discussing your spontaneity criteria that normally dissociation reactions are endothermic, but dissociation of HI is exothermic.
Yes,
So this reaction is formation of HI. It will be endothermic. Okay. So if formation of HI is endothermic, then delta H will be what? Positive. So 2 will be 4.
Yes, sir.
2 will be matching with 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now 2 will be also matching with 1
Yes, sir.
because it is formation reaction for HI.
Sir, what is standard state of iodine?
Huh?
Standard state of iodine.
Standard state of iodine we take to be
Solid, no, sir. Then how
solid.
it is formation reaction?
Solid, no, sir.
Okay. Then so it won't be formation also, yes. So 1 is also not correct. Iodine is standard state will be, yeah, you are correct. So then this won't be, one won't be the right option for 2. So we are only left with 2 and 4. Okay, and these set are, universally correct set. So, okay. So 2, 4 and S, that would be the only correct combination corresponding to second option. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it can, and 2, 4 P and 2, 4 Q and 2, 4 R are also correct. Where P, Q, R are always correct, no matter what is the situation. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let us talk about the third option. Third is boron plus O2 giving B2O3. Okay. Now in this reaction is a formation reaction. So 1 is correct for B2O3. Yes.
Yes,
And
sir.
it is a combustion reaction for boron. So this is also correct. So 1 and 2 are correct. And for this reaction, okay,
Delta H negative.
delta H will be negative exothermic reaction. All combustion reactions are generally exothermic only. It is released. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 3 is also correct, and 4th is obviously not correct because it is greater than 0. Okay. So for 3, 1, 2, and 3 are correct. Okay. Similarly, if you are talking about 4, 4 is again phosphorus white plus 5O2 giving P4O10. Okay. Now what is
Delta H.
standard state of phosphorus? It's not white phosphorus for sure. I think it is black phosphorus. Okay. Standard state of phosphorus will be black phosphorus, I guess. Let me just check once. Oh, 1 minute. I just want to confirm. It is definitely not white. Okay. So black phosphorus is the most stable form of. 1 minute. Yeah, thermodynamically stable form of phosphorus is black phosphorus only. So you see, this is not representing the formation reaction of P4O10. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So 1 cannot be the answer here. Getting my point? Because you are taking
Yes,
what?
sir.
White phosphorus, not, you should take black phosphorus if you want to write a formation reaction of P4O10. So that is, so 1 is not correct, but 2 is correct. It represents the combustion of P4 to give P4O10. 1 mole of P4 is getting completely consumed. So 2 is correct. 3, it is a exothermic reaction. 2 and 3 are correct. Are you getting a point?
Fourth one.
Sorry, I have erased the wrong one. It should be here. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
fourth, the answer should be 2 and 3. And obviously, for this, or P, Q, and R, all are correct. In this case, P, Q, and R are correct. In this case, P, Q, R are correct because these are universally correct options. So you see, you have gotten all the set of all the correct options. Now let us check which of the following matching is correct. So they have given answer as C. C is what? 1, 3, P. So 1, 3, P is correct. So that is good. But we have to check other options also. 1, 4, S. Now 1 and 4 do not come together. So this is obviously not correct. 1, 2, R. That will be correct. Getting a point. So B should also be the correct one. And 1, Q. That is also
Yes.
correct. Are you getting?
A, B, C.
Yes.
A, B, C. No.
Yeah. So A and B is also correct actually. Okay. See, if you are looking it from bond dissociation point of view, you are actually breaking carbon-carbon bonds in graphite. Are you getting a point? So bond dissociation and bond formation formulas are also equally applicable. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for this 31, all three options A, B, and C are correct. Let us see whether they will give A and B also not. Then which of the following matches are incorrect? Okay. Now you see, when I am talking about 3, 1, S. So 3, 1, and S.
No, sir. Incorrect.
It is incorrect. Okay. 3, 1, and S is incorrect. So this should be the,
Answer.
this should
C
also
and
be the, and 2, 1, and Q. So is 2 and Q there? No. 2 and 1 are not there. With 2 only 4 is there. So this is also incorrect and this is also incorrect. Okay. So they have given D as the answer, but C is also an incorrect statement. So this should also be the answer. 3, 1, S. Okay, then 2, 2, R, 2, 3, R is anything. 2, 3, R is also incorrect. 2 and 3 are not compatible with each other, right?
yes, sir.
Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So both C and B are also wrong. So answer should be A, B, C, D, all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is also wrong and this is also wrong. Incorrect statement.
So now will it change all these answers or not?
Let us see. I will recommend from my side that these options are incorrect. Okay, now that is totally up to them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you should be knowing the correct way of doing things. Are you getting my point? Yes,
Yes,
or no?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 33. Which of the following matching is
All
correct?
options should be kept, sir. To keep correct.
Huh?
All options should be kept, sir.
Yeah, they should keep technically all options. Are you getting a point? Now 33. So you see 32 is also go for key change. 33. They are again asking for the correct options. Now 2, 4, they have given answers 4, 3, S. So 4, 3, S. Okay.
He's wrong.
Is wrong because this is defined for non-combustion reactions. Okay. 4, 1, R. Now 4, 1 is also not correct. With 4, 1 won't work because it is black phosphorus if you want heat of formation reaction. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So this is wrong. Okay, so this should not be the answer. Okay. But this should also not be the answer. Okay. What should I do? This is. Okay, 2, 1, Q. Now 2, 1, that is also not correct. Okay. And 2, 4, Q.
It is correct.
It is correct. So this should be the answer. The answer should be this one, actually. Are you getting a point? 33 should be a key change. Getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after 33, next is 34, 35, 36. Okay. So let us discuss this. Okay. Have I done anything here? No. I have done it here only. So you see in 34, 35, 36. Okay. You see, let us in the phase 1 they have given different equilibriums. Now you see, for all equilibriums, the value of delta G will be equal to 0. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Now, delta G is always equal to minus T delta S total. This I have given.
Yes, sir.
Then for all equilibrium, if delta G is equal to 0, then delta S total is also equal to
0.
0. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Universally correct for all equilibrium. Now, because you see all the processes are equilibrium only, that is why I am first checking the universal statements. And you see, delta G is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln K. Now, delta G is 0 because all for equilibrium. So, delta G naught is what? Minus RT ln K. Actually, it is Q. Okay. At equilibrium, Q becomes K. Okay. Now you see, delta G naught will be equal to 0 only if K is equal to 1. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So you see, delta G will always be 0 for all the equilibriums, but delta G naught will be equal to 0 only will be K is equal to 1. Now you see, when will be K equal to 1? When there is no gases in the equilibrium. Okay. Only solid and liquid are there. Because for both of them, the active mass is equal to 1. So K will be equal to 1. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you have done this, then you can do this question. Okay. See, these questions will require a lot of experience. Okay. Right now you have only given like 1 week. So let us see how to do this question. First question, H2O solid going to H2O liquid. Okay. So you see H2O solid going to H2O liquid. Okay. This is the first case. Now here density is more in the solid state or less in the solid state. See, for water, density is less in the solid state. And it is more in the liquid state. Water is the only exception, along with bismuth in these cases. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, equilibrium is given at T is equal to 273.15 Kelvin. Okay. So, solid and liquid equilibrium is given. Now, you see, solid going to liquid, delta H will always be what? Positive? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So, option 1 is correct. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And then they are asking a delta S reaction. Now, solid going to liquid, entropy is always increasing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it is always increasing, then delta S will be what? Greater than 0?
3.
Yeah. So 1 and 3 are correct for 1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now let us look into P, the column number 3. Column number 3, option P, favorable condition for forward reaction is high pressure and high temperature. Now you see, if we increase pressure, it will go towards more density or less density. If you're increasing pressure, you're decreasing volume, so it will go towards
More
density.
okay, which is forward reaction.
Yes, sir.
So at high pressure, the reaction will go forward. Plus, forward reaction is endothermic. So if you increase temperature, the reaction will go forward. Option P is correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then option Q. Favorable conditions for backward processes, low pressure, low temperature, and high pressure. Obviously, for backward, it should be low pressure and low temperature.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Q is incorrect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about R? Now R is saying that delta G is equal to 0 and delta G naught is equal to 0. Okay, delta G is equal to 0 is universally correct here also and here also. Now you see option S is universally correct.
Yes, sir.
Means in whatever option you are evaluating, if S will always be giving the correct statement. But option R will be valid only when the equilibrium consists of only solid, is not consisting of gases.
Yes, sir.
So if you see the first equilibrium, it is having only solid and liquid. So delta G naught will be equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
So the options are P, S and R.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So S is always there. So you see I have written S here also, S here also, and S here also. Okay. Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then option, 2. Now 2, they have given solid to gas, but they should have given liquid to gas. Because the solid form won't exist at 373.15. Are you getting a point? This is the boiling point of water.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am doing this question assuming because this is most probably a printing mistake. Okay. So if it is the case, you see, when it is going from liquid to gaseous, density is what? Decreasing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gases will always have less density than liquid form. Okay. Now you see, let us first evaluate the second column. So delta H will be greater than 0. 1 is correct. And delta S is also greater than 0. 3 is also correct. Because liquid is going to gas.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's vaporization. You have to give energy. Okay. Now, third column. Now, third column, S is always correct. Okay. And I have to check P and Q. Now, obviously, one of P and Q will be correct. Both cannot be correct at the same time. Okay. So, let us see P. Okay. So, forward direction, high temperature and high pressure, they are saying. The high temperature is correct. If you are increasing temperature, the reaction will go more in forward direction.
Yes, sir.
But if you are talking at high pressure, you see, if you are going from
Backward.
liquid to gas, then volume is increasing.
Yes, sir.
So your
density-
voice is breaking.
1 minute, 1 minute. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, liquid to gas, if it is going, then what is happening? Volume is increasing. Okay. So if you increase pressure,
Backward.
then you are decreasing volume. So it will go towards that form which is occupies less volume, which is liquid. So increasing pressure, if high pressure you are applying, it is going in backward direction, not in forward direction. Are you getting a point?
Yes,
For
sir.
option 2? Okay, so P cannot be correct. Getting a point? But Q will be correct. Why? Because for backward reaction, high
Yes.
pressure is required by the same law. For forward reaction, low pressure is required. See, you can visualize it like this. If you are having a lot of vapors and you are compressing them, they will be compressed to liquid phase. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you see, high temperature, it will be going in forward direction only, because forward direction is endothermic. So backward direction is what? Exothermic.
Yes, sir.
So if it is exothermic, then the backward is favored by low temperature and high pressure.
Pressure.
Okay. So Q is correct. R is not correct because one of the component is gases. So K won't be equal to 1. Okay. And S is always correct. So Q and S. Okay. Third is triple point of water. Solid and gases are in equilibrium. Again, you see the density is decreasing because gas will be having higher density than solid. Always. Sorry, gases will have always lower density than solid.
So,
Always. Okay. So you see, this equilibrium can be pushed in forward direction. Okay. Only if you are decreasing
Low
pressure.
pressure.
Okay. Or increasing temperature.
increasing temperature.
Okay. So decreasing pressure and increasing temperature is not an option here. So P cannot be correct. Okay. It can be pushed in backward direction by reversing the condition, means increasing pressure
Decreasing
and
temperature.
decreasing temperature. Okay. So option Q is correct.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
R cannot be correct because there is a gas.
S is true.
Okay. So S is universally correct. Okay. So this brings us to the fourth one, which is at equilibrium temperature and pressure. Carbon graphite is going to carbon diamond. Okay. Now you see, diamond is having lower density and graphite is having lower density and diamond is having higher density. So if you want forward direction, you should increase pressure. Yes or no? And you should increase temperature.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because diamond is having higher density. So if you're decreasing volume, it will shift to the form which has higher density. Okay. So for this, option P is correct. The favorable condition towards forward reaction is high pressure and high temperature.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
Q won't be correct. Okay.
R is
And
true.
R is correct because both are solids. So K will be 1. And S is universally correct. Okay. So we have gotten all the combinations. Now we can just do this question. These questions are a bit longer, that I admit. But these are the way to tackle it. Now you see, when you're talking about which of the following is correct match. Okay, so first check the given option.
1, 3 is
1, 3, S. 1, 3, S. It is correct. So that is matching 1, 2, P.
it is correct.
1 P is correct. 1, 2 P is not correct. 1, 1 Q is incorrect. 1, 3 Q is incorrect. So 34 is done. 35. Which of them is incorrect? Okay. So if you're talking incorrect, the given answer is B. 3, 3 R. You see, with 3, 3, there is no R option. Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So this is definitely incorrect, but we should check others also. 2, 1 S. 2, 1 S is correct. Okay. 4, 4 S. 4, 4 S is correct. And 2, 3. So 2, 3 S is also correct. So you see, all other remaining options are correct. B is the only incorrect option. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For 36, A. 4, 1 Q. Now 4, 1
1Q
Q.
fall.
They are asking the correct option, no? So let us first check the correct. 31Q. 31Q. It is correct. Okay. So, and we have to also see whether others are incorrect or not. 41Q. 41, there is no Q, so it is incorrect. 43S. 4, there is no 3, so it is incorrect. And 23R. With 2 and 3, there is no R, so it is also incorrect. Getting the point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So with this, we have finished the paper discussion. Okay. Acha, I wanted to discuss one more question. Do you have 5 minutes of time? That question which was there in this one actually.
Okay, sir.
This question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us just discuss this question. Let us see why this question was incorrect and what will be the correct form of this question. Because you see, question was good, but you know, the diagram has ruined the things. Now you see, it is saying that white phosphorus is a tetraatomic solid, okay, at room temperature, and heating with respect to oxygen, it polymerizes to give, 1 minute. It polymerizes to give red phosphorus. Okay. Now you see the reaction is taking place like this. Now you see the diagram given is wrong because this bond won't exist, this bond won't exist. Okay, so the correct diagram should have been something like this. Phosphorus. Okay, this is white phosphorus molecule. Now, you see, if you are having multiple phosphorus molecules, what will happen is that this would have changed to something like this. This bond has been broken. This bond will be broken. So what you would have gotten is something like this. Okay. And you see this bond is broken and there will be a dot coming which will combine with another phosphorus unit. Are you getting a point? So instead of this bond, now a red phosphorus bond is formed. Okay. So I am showing it by this bond. Okay. And similarly, this bond is also getting formed from the previous unit. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Could you repeat it, sir?
See, this is a isolated white phosphorus unit. Okay, all P4 units are separate from each other. But in case of a red phosphorus, what happens is that first this bond breaks. Okay, and then there will be 2 electrons, one here and another here. This will combine with another phosphorus unit. Okay, are you getting my point? Something like this.
Yes, sir.
If you are breaking the bond, then first you will get this type of thing. And then another unit of the same type. This will combine to give the polymeric bond. Okay, and then this pattern is repeated here and here. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you see, you are exactly breaking one phosphorus bond in white phosphorus, and you are creating a polymeric bond in red phosphorus. Getting my point? Yes or no? So you can visualize that first this is getting converted into this. Okay. First this is getting converted into this, and then this is getting, then this bond is getting formed by, you know, combining with another phosphorus unit. Are you getting a point? So this is getting formed. Okay. So if I visualize this reaction like this, what will be delta H1? It will be breaking of this
Bond
bond.
energy of PP bond.
Okay. So bond energy of PP white. This is a white phosphorus bond which
Yes,
we are breaking. And in the second case, you see what is happening, that these two are combining to give a red phosphorus bond. This bond is a red phosphorus bond. Okay. So what will delta H2? This case bond formation is taking place.
yes, sir.
So it will be what? Minus of bond energy
Bond
of
energy of,
phosphorus red.
yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, instead of breaking all the bonds, I am just breaking one bond. Okay. So that, I can just make minor adjustment. Now you see, delta H naught is given for this reaction. See, this is gas and this is also gas. Delta H naught is given to be minus 104 per unit of phosphorus. So I am taking only one molecule. Okay, 1 mole. So I can write delta H naught is equal to bond energy of phosphorus white minus bond energy of phosphorus red. Okay, and that is given to be how much? That is given to be
Minus 104.
minus 104. Now I need to find this first. Then only I can find this value. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
How do
sir.
you
Yes,
find
sir.
for this? Enthalpy of sublimation data is given and enthalpy of atomization is given. Now you see, here they have given it wrong. It should have been enthalpy of, if they are writing this, instead of atomization, they should have write enthalpy of formation of phosphorus atoms. Okay, based on the solution which they have given, it should have been enthalpy of, because enthalpy of atomization is written for molecules, not for atoms. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see, if I am writing P4 solid, okay, and I am converting it into phosphorus atom, what are the phases? First, I will be writing P4 gaseous. Okay, and then P4 white will be going to 4P gaseous, something like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you see what is, if I'm going directly from here to here, that will be what? Delta H atomization of P4,
Yes,
right?
sir.
That is consisting of two steps, delta H1 and delta H2. What is delta H1?
Atomization is for gaseous.
Huh?
Atomization is for gaseous.
No, it is for all. Water can also be atomized. You'll be getting gaseous atoms as the end result. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first step is sublimation, solid going to gas, and second is dissociation of bonds. Now you see P4 gaseous, it will be something like this. How many phosphorus bonds are there?
3.
No, it is 6, no? 6. See, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is having, so delta H2 should be equal to what? 6 into bond energy of phosphorus bonds.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? So you see, and this is what? This is heat of formation of, so I can write delta H atomization okay, that will be equal to what? 4 into formation of delta H naught atomization of P4 white equal to delta H naught formation of phosphorus into 4. I can write it like this because this is, we are taking to be 0.
Sir, but in black
It is not the
phosphorus.
standard state. Yeah, that So you see, this is the second flaw in this question. Okay. But but they have assumed this to be 0 and done all the calculation. Okay. So you see, I'm not interested in this question actually. I'm interested in the process. Okay. That if this type of question comes, how will you approach? Okay. So right now, if you take this to be 0, delta H naught formation, then I'm proceeding. So it will be 4 into delta H naught formation minus, so it will be 4 into 316.25. It will be 1265 kilojoules.
Sir, 4 into.
Yes, 4. So you see, this should be equal to delta H1 plus delta H2. Okay. So this should be delta H sublimation plus 6 into bond energy of phosphorus white. So that is equal to 1265 kilojoules. Okay. So this is 59 plus 6 into bond energy of phosphorus white is equal to 1265. Okay, or bond energy of phosphorus white will be 1265 minus 59 by 6. It will be 201 kilojoule. Now this we are going to use in the first equation. So I can write minus 104 is equal to bond energy of phosphorus white minus bond energy of phosphorus red. So bond energy of phosphorus white will be equal to bond energy of phosphorus red. That will be what? So bond energy of phosphorus red. Result of bond energy is equal to 104 plus bond energy of phosphorus white. So this is 201. This is 104 plus 201 is 305. So you see, there are plenty of things which are not correct about this problem. So this is most probably going to be deleted. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but what I was interested in this step. Are you getting a point? See, we didn't break all the bonds. We only broke one bond. So for breaking one bond, I gave this much energy equal to bond energy. And when the other bond form, I get back this much energy is released. Are you getting a point? And if you're using Hess law, delta H naught should be equal to H1 plus H2. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how you are going to do this question.
Sir, will you share this?
Yeah, this is written in the UTA notes. Okay. So you can access it there. Okay.
Yeah.
I will share all the things here. So with this, I think I have discussed all the problems of UTA also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the remaining problem of only one problem was worthy of discussion. Others are easy only. Okay, I think we were left with 5 problems, but only this was tricky. Others was easy. So this we have discussed. Okay. So with this, I am ending today's paper discussion. Is it good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, people, for keeping patience in such a long discussion. Okay. So with this, I am ending the paper discussion. Thank you for participating. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I will
Thank
share-
you, sir.
Now the
Thank you, sir.